Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Inside Upstage series, a little video compilation that we're going to be doing, just getting to the inside information for Upstage. Today, I have Paul Gallo with me, and Paul is going to be talking about himself and what he was cast as for Upstage, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So, thank you for hanging out with me, Paul.
Thank you for having me, Rebecca.
Awesome. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was originally born in Toronto. I grew up for the first few years of my life in Mississauga, which is actually where I took my first acting classes. It was just improv for kids, that type of thing. So I then we moved down to Windsor, Essex County, and we've lived here ever since. And that's where I, really fell in love with movies and TV and the theater and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Have you done anything besides Upstage? I know you've done some theater, but have you ever
I
done
have.
any? Tell me about the theater you've done and if you've done any other like film related stuff.
Okay. Well, I actually started out in film, just doing extra work and just like commercials and small short films and stuff like that. Um, Theater wise, I've only done two productions, one of which was The Hangman, or sorry, Hangman, not The Hangman, by Martin McDonough. That one was a lot of fun. We put that on through post productions at Shadowbox. And the other one is an original piece by a writer. He's local, Anthony, and I'm going to butcher his last name, I bet you. Anthony Giancoloni, I believe it is.
I think it's close. It's this close.
Yeah, and he's a terrific playwright. He wrote a play called The Keeper, which that was a lot of fun to do. I got to be chained up to a wall and tortured in that one. So,
Funny enough, in the original run of The Keeper, I was the masked person.
were you
I
really?
was, I
Oh,
was.
wow.
But that was during COVID. So what happened was that the actor who would have been you got COVID, and then so we couldn't go
Oh,
on.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
so
hear that.
oh, things happen. If that didn't happen, then you wouldn't have been in the role. So all of that happening meant that you got to be in the role. So there you go.
Well, it's not exactly how I like to get my parts, but that's okay.
Ah, you're good. Okay, so tell me about how you heard about Upstaged.
Well, it was through working with post productions. They kind of told me that they'd been working on this for a long time now. And I was, obviously super interested right from the start. And they were like, yeah, you got to audition. And fortunately, they liked what I did.
There you go. So did you audition for multiple roles or just one role?
No, I actually, they had me read for two roles, but I only went out for the one, and that was the one that I ended up getting, and that's Luke.
Okay, tell me more about the character of Luke.
Luke is a pretty simple guy. He is a very affable man. He doesn't really have a mean bone in his body, you know what I mean? He likes everybody. He wants everybody to be happy and, just super friendly guy. Big guy, he needs to move couches and stuff, but I like to see him as sort of a gentle giant.
Oh, that's awesome. And is this a really big role? Is it a smaller role? Like what kind of
This
role is it?
it's a smaller role in the show, but it will actually be a pretty big role for me in that this is my only my second on-screen speaking role. And
Ooh.
yeah, and in my first one I only had one line. So
Hey, that's okay. I have literally been in a commercial where all I did was like lower some aviators at somebody. So, hey,
hey,
like
work is work.
absolutely. But this is a really cool project. So, this is better than work is work, right? This is
Oh,
going to be
absolutely. Yeah. I would be doing this for free. Hell, I would pay them.
Well, I mean, there is a Kickstarter, so you know.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
So for everybody watching right now, we are in the Kickstarter phase of Upstage where we are looking for funding. This is a really big project. This project will employ 50 plus artists from the Windsor Essex area. So if y'all are looking to support a really cool project, please head over to our Kickstarter. You can literally Google Upstage Series Kickstarter and it'll be there. Yeah, we have 18 days left. So yeah, there's still time. There's still time to meet that goal. So everybody head over there. Okay, so Paul, tell me about your favorite comedy TV show. If it's a sitcom or it doesn't matter, your favorite comedy TV show.
I knew you were going to ask me this, and I had, because you told me before we started recording. Little behind the scenes stuff there. I had to think about it for the last few minutes. I was like, darn, what am I going to say here? Like, but I think I had to land on Community.
Okay, okay. That's a solid choice. Who's your favorite character in Community?
It's got to be Troy. Troy just he is so funny. He can do that like kind of innocent babe in the woods thing, and
Yeah.
or he can just have the perfect one-liner. Like he's so talented. It was really sad to see him go from the show.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. That show's totally over now, right?
Yeah, yeah. Although they keep to every year, someone will say, "We're gonna do the movie this year."
Yeah. That's how it always works, right? I mean,
Yeah,
heck, that's what they did with Firefly. They gave us one season of Firefly and then they were like, we're gonna give you a movie. And then they
it's
gave us a
so
movie,
weird
but
that
we wanted more.
it's so weird that you should bring up Firefly. That was my second choice.
Oh, Firefly is such a classic and everybody was just craving more. And
I know.
we got the movie and then oh, that's it.
See, I came to it a little later on, so it was already canceled. So I knew I was like, no, I only have this many episodes.
Yeah. Well, you know what else that Nathan Fillion was in that was canceled, and it was devastating for me was Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, uh, excuse me. Another fantastic show.
Oh, it was so good, and they left us on a cliffhanger.
I know they left us on the cliffhanger.
I know it was devastating.
Oh,
But Netflix just kind of does that, right? They're
I
like, "Oh,
know.
hey, we
Yeah,
know you absolutely love this show, and we know that it does well, but we're not gonna do it anymore."
they get more engagement from new shows. Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing because Netflix has done that with some shows that I've really enjoyed. Like so I'm a big horror person.
Okay.
That's what I love. Um they had a version of Stephen King's The Mist. They had a first season of The Mist, a
Oh,
Netflix original, and it was so cool and I enjoyed it so much and they were like, we're just not going to do another season. I'm like, no. And they did
oh,
the same thing with this horror TV show based off of a podcast called Archive 81.
I think
And
I saw that one.
that one was fabulous. And they left us on a cliffhanger. And I was like, no. But I swear they canceled that just like a couple weeks after it had aired. They were like, yeah, it didn't do as well as we wanted to. And I was just like,
That's the
no.
thing with the analytics. Like it's all based on an algorithm now.
Mm, yeah. Disappointing. But I
Very.
mean, as long as Upstage, the first season, does
Yes.
well,
The
we
show that we're
are,
here to talk about.
yeah, the showrunners want to do 3 seasons. That's what they've got planned. They have obviously the whole first season written out because principal photography is set to begin June 11th. But then they've got 2 more seasons planned after that. And I know that they were saying that some of the roles that may have been smaller in the first season might get bigger in later seasons. So
Uh,
you never know.
I don't want to do any spoilers, but I may have heard some of that talk.
All right, all right. Paul's just sitting here like, I'm about to be famous. Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. It's just gonna be great to work with all of these amazing talented artists, and Windsor Essex has a huge wealth of talent to draw from.
Oh, it's crazy how many talented people are in this city. Absolutely crazy. And I feel like a lot of people don't know
No, and I think you're right. And I think when you think about like film and television, and even theater, you think about your big cities. You think about Toronto, you think about Vancouver,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
think about Stratford, and Stratford's not a big city, but it is really well known for theater. You even think about Niagara on the Lake for the Shaw Festival. But when you think about Windsor, what do people say about Windsor?
Usually not very nice things.
No, they don't say nice things, and it's sad because Windsor's actually quite lovely. Every s
Yeah. I
every
mean,
city has bad stuff, like, let's be honest,
certainly.
but
There are some genuinely beautiful parts of this city, and the arts specifically, like you can get world-class entertainment without ever leaving the city.
oh, absolutely. I mean, you have these amazing theater companies. I mean, obviously, Upstaged is being run by Post Productions, which is a Windsor theater company, but you've got Corda Artistic Productions. You have Windsor Feminist Theater. You have Cardinal Music, Windsor Light. You have all of these theaters as well, like Revolution Youth Theater. Just there's so many. There's so many more that I wish I just had an entire list. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
start listing ones on next episodes I do of this because I'm gonna feel bad that I didn't mention every single theater company out there.
I
But
didn't
no,
realize that was your first episode.
you are Paul, you're my first episode.
Nobody told me that.
Well, I didn't, I just didn't want to make you feel like nervous.
Well, now
No.
I am. Good
No,
job.
don't be nervous.
No,
Um,
I'm honored to be first on the list. This is exciting.
yeah, no, I'm excited to have you here. This is gonna be a really cool project, and it's really opening myself up to meeting new people because sure there's a lot of people that I know and have worked with before. There's people that I've met in passing, like yourself. I've met you in passing, but I've never worked with you before. And then
Yeah,
there's people that I've literally I don't know them and I'm just meeting them in this process and it's a really exciting thing.
certainly. Yeah. The people you meet in this industry, by and large, are just some of the nicest people I've ever met.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely. The arts really just bring people together.
I know. And you see, like, a lot of times when specifically film is depicted in the media, like, it's all like divas and like cutthroat competition and stuff like that. And I've never found any of that in Windsor at all.
I think that so many of the artists in Windsor are just really trying to just support each other because it can be a difficult, I mean, it is a difficult industry, theater, film, television, it's all difficult, but
Yeah.
we're just trying to support each other in this. I've never met anybody who was mad that they went out for a role and somebody else got it, and it like I've never met anybody who like threw a temper tantrum over
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I have you seen Pearl, the movie Pearl?
No, no, I haven't.
Horror movie, Ty West. There's a scene where Pearl auditions for something and then she doesn't they're just like, "Okay, thanks. We don't wanna hear anything else from you." She throws a temper tantrum. And I remember thinking like, "Who does that?" But
Right?
I'm assuming some people do. But yeah, I haven't really I don't see that here. Everybody's pretty good-natured here.
Yeah, it's a very supportive environment to create in, I think.
Absolutely. It's really great. Do you do any other sort of art forms? Like, have you ever played an instrument? Do you sing? Do you
Uh,
make crafts?
I do a little bit of singing, if someone has like a guitar or a piano and knows how to play it.
All right, all right.
I don't know that I'm confident enough in my skills to ever sing on stage, but
That's what practice is for.
yeah, I was gonna say you never know what'll happen in the future. Maybe I'll put my nose to the grindstone. Other than that, not really. I used to play a little bit of guitar in high school, a little bit of bass in my 20s, but acting is kind of my main thing.
I love that. It's not a musical, folks. This is not a musical, folks. Upstage
Yeah.
is acting. Though I have heard that there's a part of the script where somebody auditions for something and they definitely think it's a musical, so they come ready to
Oh,
sing.
well,
I've
I'm
heard
looking
that.
forward to that scene.
It should be a lot of fun. Okay, so we know that you like Community. What's your favorite comedy film? Comedy movie?
That one's easy. Galaxy Quest all the way.
Galaxy Quest is a 4.5 out of 5 for me on Letterboxd. It's 100% such a funny movie. It's a great like satire, but without being too ridiculous. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah. See, I actually, the first time I saw it, I had never seen an episode of Star Trek. So
Mm,
the satire was like completely lost on me. I was just like, this is a really good movie.
it's a fabulous movie. And it's you look at some of the people that are in that movie and
Oh,
what
stellar cast. You got Alan Rickman, you got
oh
Sigourney Weaver, Tim Allen at the height of being Tim Allen, like
yeah.
just a
Uh
crazy amount of talent in that cast. Sam Rockwell.
you have baby Justin Long.
Yeah, oh, and Justin Long too, who isn't in that much of the movie, but is so perfect in every scene that he's in.
Oh, he's great. He's a stellar actor.
Yeah.
No, that is a solid choice. That's such a good movie. I just watched a movie today, or maybe it was a TV. I can't remember what I was watching today, but the one alien who's really like looks up to Alan Rickman's character, like the actor who plays
Oh,
that
Quillick.
alien. Yeah, yeah. He was in something that I just watched, and I was like, hey, that's the guy from Galaxy Quest, because I don't
I love
actually know
that.
who
I
he
love seeing
is.
people from that movie pop up places. Yeah.
It's funny. That's a great choice for a comedy movie. That is a fabulous choice. Galaxy Quest, fabulous, fabulous movie. And I love seeing actors in movies where it's like I'll look at something and be like, oh my gosh, that's that guy from this movie. And then you'll watch an old movie that you watched years ago and you watch it again now and you're like, I didn't even know that that was
Yeah.
who that was.
You never made that connection, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like the fact that Bruce Campbell is in the movie Congo.
Oh, I haven't seen Congo, but I know what that movie is. I didn't know that. He's in Congo?
Yeah, and it's not a comedy role, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's kind of he just plays like this straight sort of horror character role. And it's funny to watch it now and be like, because when you think about Bruce Campbell, you think about Evil Dead,
Look at that. Yeah.
right? And then to look back at that and be like, oh my gosh, he was in this?
Yeah.
And it's
I
funny.
always thought he should have had more I thought he should have been a leading man. Like he had so much talent that I feel like we didn't see enough of him. I mean,
Bruce
he's
Campbell
not
is
dead. I'm
super.
talking like he's dead.
No, but he doesn't get enough love. He has a cult following, but he just doesn't get enough love. But Bruce Campbell is chef's kiss. He is talented. He is funny. He has great comedic timing, and he's a great like
Oh
physical
yeah.
actor.
Yes,
A
yeah, absolutely.
fabulous physical actor.
Everything from like the face to like the actual body comedy, like it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really great at that. Another one of those actors that when you rewatch something, you're like, oh my gosh, that's who that is. Jurassic Park. Um, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like who was Samuel L. Jackson when Jurassic Park came out? He
He'd
wasn't,
already done some stuff.
but like he
He
wasn't
wasn't as big as he is now. Yeah, absolutely.
exactly. So when you think about Samuel L. Jackson, you don't think about Jurassic Park, but he actually was really good
Yeah.
in that. He's got he's
With a
constantly got like a
cigarette in his
cigarette
mouth the
hanging
whole
out of his
time.
mouth the whole time. I was just about to say cigarette in his mouth the whole time. And then spoiler alert, because I mean I shouldn't have to say that because it's Jurassic Park, but like,
Are you
and then
talking
just like
about the
the arm, yeah. Yep, yep, yep. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Yeah.
But I always love that. I love spying people. My family and I will do this thing. We'll do like a 20 questions of who is that actor? Where do we know that actor from? If we're watching a movie, and then we sit there because somebody knows, and they're like, "Okay, 20 questions," and then you have to try to figure it out.
Oh
Um,
man, I want to watch movies with you guys.
we are a movie family, but we also will like quote movies constantly. We're a movie quoting family. And if you make a movie quote and the other person doesn't get it, then you do the thing. You do the okay, 20 questions and you make the other person try to guess where competitive, but also really love movies. We basically just live off of movie quotes. So
Right on.
one of those weird movie families.
Those are the
Okay,
best kinds.
I agree. Okay, so we did favorite comedy series, we did favorite comedy movie. Now, tell me your favorite kids, like a comedy that you watched when you were a kid, whether it's a cartoon or just like a kid's live action.
Oh, I've always felt that a really underrated show that nobody talks about much anymore was the Buzz Lightyear cartoon, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
I did not see that.
See, nobody, it's like what is it called? The Mandela effect when you remember
Mm,
something that nobody else remember. Like, I swear, I've gone back and I found it on the internet. Like, it did exist. And
fair
it
enough.
was kind of like Star Trek for kids, you know what I mean?
Okay.
they would go on like adventures and like Buzz was this like over the top, like Boy Scout guy who like does everything by the book but it just had, it had good lessons for kids in it and it had some genuinely funny jokes. It's a good show.
I love that. It's like you were saying, like the Mandela effect. There's a movie that I watched. I remember watching it in the waiting room of a hospital when I was very little. And the only scene I remember is this young girl stepping through a mirror into another world. But I've been on Reddit. Everything that I've found or people have suggested, it's not what it was. It's not right. And it's
Doesn't
gonna
that just
bother me. Gonna bother me for the rest of my life because I don't know what this movie is.
I have a couple like that I'm still hunting for.
Gosh, if only we had Letterboxd back then.
I
And just
know.
Letterbox, I just live off of that thing. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna. I have the actual diary and where I keep a diary of everything in the app so that I know what I've watched because I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget.
But if you forget, then you can enjoy it all over again.
It's true. It's true. You're not wrong. I did that once. There was a summer that I was working, and on the days that I wasn't working, I was just home alone, and I would just watch back to back to back to back movies. And
Oh
they
yeah.
bleed into each other. And so every so often I'll be like, "Oh, I've never seen this movie before." And I'll start it, and then about 20 minutes in, I'm like, "I've seen this."
And
And
then
it's
you remember, yeah.
yeah, it was the summer of movies, I call it, where it's just like back to back to back movies where they all just blend into each other, and I truly have no idea what I was watching.
It's just that's kind of paradise at the same time though.
It was nice. It was nice. But I'll tell you, once you have to start reviewing movies and you're not just watching them for fun, it becomes
Oh.
way less fun to watch movies.
See, I could definitely see that. I used to want to be a movie critic, but I don't want to hurt my babies.
It's hard. It's hard. So we're gonna start wrapping this up a bit, but one last thing. What would be your dream role? Like in a comedy series, something that's already been, something you'd like to see done. What would be the
Oh,
dream role to play?
that is a good question. Like a specific character or just the type of role?
Type of role, maybe a genre,
Okay,
type of movie.
I've always wanted to, and this is gonna sound so silly, but I've always wanted to be the leading man in a romantic comedy.
You know what? You've got the mustache for it.
I thought the
So
mustache is what keeps me from doing.
no, no, no. This is you've got like the like a think about like a Hallmark movie. Like a city girl has
Oh, I could be the
gone
small
to
town guy.
you're the small town like lumberjack guy that the city girl, she's come from the big city. She wants to start a little like baking company and then you have this struggling live edge business that you do because you want to do that full time, but you're a lumberjack full time. And she opens up her little baking shop and lets you sell your charcuterie boards, and you fall in love.
I would watch it.
Okay, there we go. I wrote a movie. Hallmark, hire me and hire Paul.
We'll just start our own company and call it Paulmark.
Hallmark movies. I'm
That
here for
was so,
that.
don't give me a pity laugh. That was a horrible joke.
No, you know what? I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. I feel like they would definitely sue you. But I would definitely watch that movie and now I have to write it. And we already have our lumberjack. Just gotta find your baker from the city.
All right.
So Paul, thank you so much for joining me today and just telling everybody a little bit about yourself.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I'm so glad. So everybody, if you're watching this still by the end, thank you so much for being here. There is there's going to be special content that Paul will be in. If you go to the Kickstarter and you contribute to the tiers, you will get access to backer only content. And there will be backer only content that Paul is in. Some of the backer only content will be, audition videos, videos about why the casting team chose people for specific roles, including Paul. Why was Paul chosen for the role of Luke? Find out by becoming a Kickstarter backer. And you'll get access to all of that fun information. And then maybe you'll get access to a special interview later, after. I don't know. Anything can happen. Life is funny. But thank you everybody for joining me today. And you guys are awesome. Go contribute to the Kickstarter. And thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank
night.
you. Good
Bye.
night.